When's the best time to sell your home? I'm so glad you asked. My name is Renee Hahn and I'm your Naples real estate expert, and we're going to talk about when the best time is to sell. My first answer, and it's not a cop-out, is it depends, because it really does. So let me explain what I mean. If you are in a position where you need to sell your home because you're moving somewhere, maybe a corporate relocation, maybe a life event, then the best time to sell is when you need to sell. It doesn't matter if it's the slower season. If you need to sell, then it's the best time to sell for you, period. If you've got the luxury of time on your side and you don't have some arbitrary deadline other than what you've created for yourself, then there might be a few more thoughts that you want to overlay that may influence your decision on when the best, better, or ideal time is for you to sell. So let's focus on that. Going back again, I don't want to miss this point. If you need to sell because of some kind of life event, then the best time to sell is when it's that time. If you have the luxury of time on your hand with no deadline, then you can focus on some other things. So if you've got more of a seasonal home, what do I mean by a seasonal home? Maybe it's a beach condo. Maybe it is a golf condo or a golf home. Places where you see a higher proportion of the population come and go throughout the season, so it's a second home community, then you may want to consider a couple things. One, we all know that the traffic goes up exponentially, and by traffic, I don't just mean on the streets, although that's true, but the traffic that brings people to the Naples area, those are also a bigger pool of buyers or potential buyers. So that's January through Easter. That's an ideal time. The only thing to keep in mind, if you're waiting for that high sale time, you just have to expect there's also more competition. So there's more buyers, but there's more sellers out there competing for the attention of those buyers. So that's one consideration. You may want to do it a little bit early. So get ahead of the season and put it on the market to see if there's any early buyers out there fishing around. So by that I mean maybe the October, November time. Things can get a little slow between November and December without question, because people are traveling for holidays and may not be here. So that's a consideration. If you're in a full-time community, so it's something where you'll see a higher proportion of people that may be living here full-time, it really doesn't matter what time of the year as much. I would just keep an eye on inventory. So if you see inventory going down, but you're still in a period of time where there's some good, healthy demand, then you may want to go on at that point. What I ultimately bring this all together to say is, the right time for you is the blend between what's going on in your personal life or professional life that may be driving the change, but also not just looking at what time of the year it is, summer versus fall versus winter versus spring, but look at what's going on in the world in terms of not just the world, but in the Naples area too. Activity, buying activity, competition, what's going on in macroeconomics. The best advice I can give you is partner up with a qualified, experienced, and knowledgeable real estate agent that can guide you through this. So you're going to ask me for general guidelines. If it's a part-time or second home type community, then your high season is probably your best, but you might want to get an early start and see if you can pick up a buyer early. The risk is that you may burn time on market, so that when everybody comes on in January, your listing may not be as fresh. So a consideration. If it's a full-time, you can do just about any time of the year. I will say that generally summers are pretty slow here, but you could pick up some relocating families from that. So my biggest advice is focus on what's right for you. Get familiar with what's going on with your community and your type of home sale, and get connected with a qualified, experienced real estate agent. If you don't have one of those, I am absolutely happy and honored to serve as that for you. My business background positions me very uniquely to have great analytical skills, which is priceless in determining timing and pricing for homes. I am a marketing whiz, if you will, if I can give myself that title, because I do a ton of creative marketing because of my background. And I'm manage a very smooth closing, as you can ask all of my prior clients for. So if I can be of assistance, don't hesitate to call me. Again, Renee Hahn, 239-287-2576, or you can always go to my website, yournaplesexpert.com. Thanks, and I look forward to talking in the future.